Although it's been mentioned a number of times by behind the scenes in recent weeks, we're still no closer to knowing what the Sixth Age actually is. Until now.
So when we decided that we wanted to do RuneScape 3, we knew that it was going to be a big technological shift, it was going to be a big change for RuneScape. We kind of decided early that we also want to do that for story. We wanted to match that technological shift in game. We wanted to have big changes and a momentous shift in our narrative.
A lot of the storylines of the Fifth Age had kind of got to a natural conclusion. And in the past in RuneScape, the ages have always evolved. We can read in history about the ages changed. And we thought to ourselves, well, why not have one of these ages actually change while the players can influence the world? Get the real, the true story back into RuneScape, the story of the gods.
For me, there is nothing bigger, nothing better than seeing the gods stomping around in the world.
They have the power to do monumental things to the game world. And it's kind of like the gods and the heroes, the players, that have had the biggest influence in the way that the game has changed.
Everybody kind of affiliates themselves with gods. That's how they decide who they are in the game.
So why not kind of bring those two forces together and see what happens?
Fundamentally, you'll be able to choose whether or not you will ally with a god or not. So by choosing to ally with a god, you'll be able to fight for them. You'll be able to play in content, quest content, in which you side with those gods. We'll give you that choice. And by making that choice will have a ramification.
It gives the opportunity for the players to decide how much they want those gods to influence the world. And some of them are very vicious. Some of them are malevolent. Some of them have revenge on their minds. Who knows what they're going to do? If you just let them get up to it, all hell could break loose.
You'll see in quest content that gods will respond to you in different ways. Different choices will be opened up to you. You'll be able to take different paths on a fork that are based on those choices you made in previous content.
They'll be able to directly speak to some of these gods, but also sort of interfere with the plans of the gods.
The world for one player, what we hope by the end of all this, will be fundamentally different from another player's world. We've got three core storylines that we want to talk about in the future of the Sixth Age, and one of those that we're going to exclusively reveal is that we're going to be talking about the Elder Gods. And so far the Elder Gods have been this mysterious force that created the world, but then they disappeared. Nobody knows where they went. And we're going to be revealing where they went and why they went, and that will feed into a huge storyline that impacts on the gods, that impacts on the Dragonkin.
The Elder Gods are the creatures that created Gielinor. They also created the Elder artifacts that we've talked about in a lot of our storylines. Players know that the Stone of Jas is one of those artifacts, but there are several others that they'll be learning about shortly. Those Elder Gods have even more power than the gods that the players know about so far. And they created Gielinor to be the perfect world.
And the fact that it's no longer as perfect as they once left it, how the Elder Gods would react, is basically what that story is about. The real aim is for the players to have the choice about how the Sixth Age ends, or at least the story of the Sixth Age that we've talked about, the Elder Gods, the Dragonkin and the gods, how that ends. I don't want to make that something that we determine, I really want that to be something that you determine, the players determine.
The Sixth Age, quite frankly, is the most exciting thing that I've ever worked on in the 10 years that I've been here.
There's another big reveal in next week's RuneScape 3 behind the scenes, but before that, Chris L will be here to talk about the hardest boss ever to hit RuneScape, Virago.